Alrighty y'all, I'm down here on the ground to show you all of these parts that we've assembled for this kit. So a couple of things. What we were trying to accomplish here was to create a collection of parts, to create a handbrake kit that is cheaper than the Perfect Stranger kit, but will perform as good or good enough. I did cheap out in a couple areas. Obviously that's how you get down to half the price of that. You're paying over $600 for that handbrake kit, the Perfect Stranger, the Brembo caliper, the Brembo master cylinder. That stuff's very expensive. The master cylinder especially is a big portion of that, and the biggest portion of our savings was actually on the master cylinder. So coupled with the P32F Brembo caliper that we have over there, I think it's going to be okay. I don't want this brake to be super twitchy anyway. You kind of think that's the opposite of what you want, but I'm still kind of, you know, I haven't had a bike with a handbrake, right? So I'm going to have to learn, and having something super twitchy is not going to be very conducive to me learning. So I'd rather have something a little, not spongy, but not quite as sharp in response, because I'm going to need that little bit of wiggle room to not hurt myself, right? So ideally, anyway, that's what we're thinking. Big portion of savings we got here too. Let me just go through everything, and I'll tell you what we paid and what we saved, right? So Brembo P32F, my original idea was to use an OEM caliper. I ended up wasting money on that because I paid 77 bucks cost for an OEM caliper. And then the Brembo was like 150 bucks everywhere. I did end up finding it for 90 bucks because the OEM one doesn't work. There's a separate bracket on it that makes it bolt to this 84 millimeter location, so it does not work. Wasted money on that, kind of sucks. Anyway, I got that for 90 bucks instead of 150. It was like 10 bucks for shipping, so 100 bucks there instead of 150, not bad. I did have to get the Perfect Stranger bracket to allow me to mount both calipers. I did get this gently used from a friend though, so instead of paying, I think they're 180 or 200 bucks, something like that, I got that for $150, so not bad there. And that's the spacer that goes with it to space the rotor out so both calipers can grab it, mount it on that bracket. We do have a bleeder here. I don't remember how much I paid for this. It was like, is there a price on it? No, it was like 10 or 15 bucks, I think. I think it was like $10, something like that, cheap. This here is some line. It did take a long time to get here. The master cylinder also, but this actually took the longest. This was $16. So I think a lot of places like the Six Shop, I think their cable prices, I think it was like 100 bucks or right around there to have 65 inches of cable with these fittings, the Banjo fittings on them. And this was 16 bucks. It took a month to get here, come from China, as well as our master cylinder, which I'll get to. These are just Banjo bolts and washers, Banjo bolts, washers, whichever one it is. And this master cylinder, this is what I wanted to do a little unboxing with. So when you pay $350 for a Brembo or a Magura, 400 bucks, master cylinder, you obviously expect it to be very nice, and they are very nice. They're very good quality, very good feel, modulation, and they're very, very well crafted, very good craftsmanship, and they're very high quality materials. When you pay $28 for a master cylinder, how much of that transfers over? It is a radial master cylinder, I'll give you that. It is still a radial, not a conventional. So I have already opened it and looked at it. Couldn't wait. So there she is, straight from China. $28 master cylinder. I was surprised at the packaging. I mean, it's form cut to it. Looks very much like the Magura HC1, I want to say, is what it's very, very close to. Which is what a lot of guys also run. Now, a little wobbly, right? A little wobbly lever. I expected that. Doesn't feel bad though. Feels like very good craftsmanship. Whatever that is, however you pronounce that, I feel like I'm going to get demonetized. I'm not monetized yet, but I feel like that's a demonetizing word. Fouden, I don't know, Chinese. It is adjustable. Looks like it's everything we need. Feels smooth. I was surprised at that. I thought it was going to feel really weird and notchy, but it's actually pretty smooth. I mean, you can kind of hear a little bit. Obviously, it's dry, but we'll see how this does. So Pop that back in there. It did come with a little reservoir. I don't know how good this is going to be. I haven't even looked at it yet. It's got some hose clamps with it. Feels solid enough. Not bad. What do we got in here? Extra banjo bolt with it. That's good because I only have two. I only ordered two. So in case we booger one up, we've got an extra one there. And then that's just a little bracket to mount the reservoir. Pop all that back in there. Alrighty. That would seem to be everything. So here's our Brembo P32F, very nice. 2-piston, already came with pads in it. When I ordered that OEM one, it did not come with pads. So it actually really wouldn't have saved me any money because I had to buy pads for it. So getting this for $100 actually was the best route to go, and I wasted the $80. And then the price of the pads, probably $10. And it's just a paperweight. So we've got this one now. We should be good to go. I've got the bike very sketchily propped up so I can get at the back wheel. I didn't think though to just use my front stand with the little feelers on it instead of the things that go in the bobbins or on the axle sliders. So I've done it a very stupid way. Sorry, my phone's going off. Nobody ever texts me, so I don't expect an interruption making a video. We're leaving this in. So I've done this a really stupid way, and I think I'm going to try to do it a smart way. I might end up having to do it the stupid way twice, but I'll keep you posted. We'll see. Alrighty, y'all. So real quick, before we end this video, I'm here with a Husqvarna hat and a 701 Supermoto and a Geico Honda jersey and Kawasaki Z125 in a handbrake install video. To tell you a couple things, so all of the parts that I used in this install are available on Amazon. The line, the master cylinder are both from China. They will take a little while to arrive. Took about a month for the line. We do have, the COVID-19 coronavirus stuff going on right now, right? So could have been a contributing factor to why that stuff took so long. Other than the weight, stuff was very cheap. Quality was good. The line was excellent. I couldn't find any fault with it. Little bit of cheap feel in the master cylinder, but it works very well. I have played around on it a little bit, dropped it, twisted my wrist, and did some wheelies, had some fun. And it does work well. It's taken a little while for the pads to mate up to the rotor. It was very dead feeling when I first installed it, but once you use it a little, run down the road, use it to slow down a couple of times. You don't want to get the rotor too hot. You don't want to burn it up and glaze the pads, but you do want to get them to mate together. So after a few heat cycles, it will work better. But also I wanted to let you know I got the caliper from the Moto store. It's the moto.store. Shout out, y'all. I appreciate you. It got here super fast, and y'all were the best price by like $50. And on something that's $150, that's huge, right? So it was listed for $90, $10 for shipping. Got here in like 3 or 4 days, even with all this Corona crap going on. So shout out the Moto store. Thank you guys. And I got the what else did I not get from Amazon? I got the one finger clutch from Amazon too. That's a really cheap one though. I wouldn't recommend it. I did have to modify it in a kind of weird way. You can see right here. So the way I have it now is kind of different from the way I had it in the video. I'm going to kind of show you here. This is janky. I'm going to move this to the bottom. This nut is from the OEM lever. It's smooth on the inside. The one that was in this was just a screw, so it was very hard to pull, and it was really cheap, crappy feeling. Because this is a super easy clutch, so for it to be that hard was kind of junky. I did mount this instead of a zip tie. I did use this. I bent it to the shape I needed with some pliers and got it hooked up there. There's the front bleeder. You couldn't really see it in the video. And again, this one you want to really make sure you're not dripping all over stuff because it's right on my clutch lever. You're right over the plastic, right? So this one will really make a mess. You got to be careful. If you do the bottle setup the way I did it, I want to show you this too. A lot of my footage, I think I didn't press record. So this is how I have it hooked up right here. That's an alcohol bottle. That's all the brake fluid that I wasted, not a whole lot. This bleeder, what it does is it's a one-way valve, so it only allows air and liquid to pass through in the direction of the arrow. So once you have this hooked up to the bleeder, this in line, and this in the bottle, only stuff will go into this, nothing will come back up out of this, and no air will go back into the line. That's how it's supposed to work. You still will need to twist the bleeder a little bit. I did notice it did still let some through, but it was a cheap $15 bleeder, worked really well. Helped me do this by myself, probably wouldn't have been able to without that. Because this is usually a two-person job. You got to have somebody pumping the lever, and you got to have somebody turning the bleeder knob, right? All that being said, thanks for watching. Shout out Seminole Power Sports. As always, if you guys want to see some more awesome moto content, make sure you subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment. If you want a link to any of these parts that I used, let me know, and I will definitely get those to you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, ride safe out there. See you next time.